You know, this is a part of it, so it's been fun. It means we're closer to season, so.
Yep. So you guys talked a little bit about some of the team bonding things that you have been doing. Tell me a little bit more about pickleball. I also have a couple more questions after that.
Yeah. So the team bonding stuff has been really fun. It was really fun. The pickleball was a surprise for our last summer workout, so I think that was a fun thing for us to do. And I surprised myself. I actually made it to like one of the last rounds, but I lost. Coach won. But it was fun. Good experience. Like the whitewater rafting that we did out here. That was a really fun experience, and it just allows us to like show our personalities with each other and just kind of be playful.
Just in general, dealing with a lot of turnover, how do things like that just help, off the court and on the court?
I think it helps a lot, especially with us having 8 new people, including transfers and freshmen. I think just being able to create that bond, specifically off the court, I think is huge to, how we bond on the court as well. Because I think it definitely carries over, and us being able to see each other in those different environments and explore each other's different personalities, and then that allows us to kind of hold each other accountable in a different way on the court as well.
You also mentioned, did you mention rapping in there?
Whitewater rafting.
Oh, rafting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just said rapping.
No.
We do not.
No.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
When you look at where this program's come in your time here and Coach's time here, what would be a successful outcome this year? I mean, you guys have made it to the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row, but where do you need to get to?
I think our first step is winning an ACC championship and being at the top of the league when it's all said and done. I think that's our first step, and then obviously hoping that leads to making it further than where we've been before in the tournament, which was the Sweet 16. I think those are all really big goals for us, and it's obviously one step and one game at a time, but I think we have a lot of potential to do so. So if we just lock into our goals, which we have been, I think that those are very reachable for us.
Is that something you've thought a lot about, especially going into your senior season?
Oh, absolutely. Knowing that my time is shortly coming to an end, I think those are something that have been on my goal list since I got here. Especially knowing this year, like I said, I think we have some really, really big competitive pieces around us to make us a really good team. So I think it's really now or never. Yeah. So there's definitely more of an urgency there. Yeah.
I may be uncomfortable to talk about, but did you talk to Kennedy before she left, and what was what went into that? You guys all kind of came up together.
Yeah, I think her being a part of our group, I think it was obviously her leaving. It kind of impacted us a little bit just as people, as friends, because we've all been friends. But no, I didn't really talk to her about her decision. That was her decision that she made when she made it. After we shared some words, just wishing the best for each other with where we end up, obviously in our futures, and that was kind of it.
The additions of Lexi and the transfer from Boston College. Sorry, I forgot her first name. Maria, right? To add some veteran pieces like that to a team that obviously has high hopes. What have they brought, and how can they help you guys get where you want to go?
Yeah, they have brought such an eagerness and determination. I think very eager to learn from, even though they're older, still wanting to learn from us vets and us returners, which I think is huge because that means there's no really egos involved from anybody. And I think just us being able to learn from each other and grow from each other, I think is super important. But I think this team is probably the most competitive team I've been on here since I've been here in North Carolina, and I think that is something that you love to have within a team. You love to have when you're in practice in a closed environment, because you get to go at each other every single day, but know that it's all love and know that we're only making each other better. And I think, like I said, for us, multiple players, almost the whole team, having that kind of mindset, I think is really good for us.
And speaking of those transfers, you have 8 new faces this season. In comparison to last season when you only had one, Paulina Paris. How is the approach different with all these new transfers?
I think it's different with just it being, I think at first we didn't know what to expect because we knew it was a lot of new faces, so we knew it would probably take a little longer for us to gel or mold what we would like. But I think from day one, like I said, with them being so open-minded and wanting to learn from us and just wanting to learn how everything works within our program and how kind of what we want to build, I think that has made it an easier transition for all of them, all 8 of them. Just them, like I said, being open open to grow and compete, and knowing that even though they can't come into a really good program, there's so much more that we want to accomplish, and them knowing that they want to be a part of that and really locking into that role, I think is super important.
With a lot of new faces, how does it transform your leadership role for you?
Yeah, it is transformed. I have taken that leadership role more specifically last year, but I know that this year is going to be a really big year for me to do so, especially with all the new pieces. And just, the biggest thing I say is I had to lead myself first before I could lead others. And I think, those first 2 years here, I had to figure out exactly my path and exactly how things were going to work for me. And now that I kind of am comfortable in that and moving pretty well throughout that journey, I think being able to lead others, specifically our younger ones and our new ones, I think have been really exciting to do because of their eagerness to learn and them just being so willing to do whatever we need them to do, and me just trying to learn about them more as people as well as
Your first couple of years at North Carolina, who were some of those players? You talked about, stepping into that leadership role. Who was that for you, those first couple of years?
Yeah, well, I would say my freshman year, I didn't really feel, I think all of us in our class, we didn't really feel like we had that kind of role. So it was hard to see what we were looking up to and what we kind of expected or wanted for ourselves. And once we ended up stepping into that leadership role. But sophomore year, I think with the addition of Carly, Eva, obviously Jalen Murray, who was a captain as well, I think that year was really big for us to kind of see what leaders were about. Carly was more of a leader by example, which was great still, and Eva used her voice a lot. So I think just having that to kind of look up to, I kind of knew that taking on that leadership role was both by example and by using my voice. And so I think that I've really dove into that role, and I think I've done a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, you guys recently had the live action event last week. That was probably the first chance to really see the new faces kind of live on court. Who were some of the players that kind of stood up to you from that?
I think Maria acting. I think that she really came into her own in that scrimmage. We've seen it in practice daily, but I think she is one of our biggest missing pieces in the interior, and her length and her ability to rebound and block shots, I think is really big for us. So I think she performed really well. I think Tiana Key performed really well as well. Just her length and athleticism, I think, is going to be huge, and she's so mobile. And I think they were both on my team, and I think on the other team it was Paulina. I think she definitely played well, and she got her team into some things, and she hit some of the shots, which is good. And it's something that we need. So I think overall, I think that the team looked good, and everyone just looked comfortable with each other. So I think that was really good to see.
How much did Team USA help you as a player coming into this season?
Yeah, Team USA was a super great experience, but I think the biggest thing was obviously just playing with other great players in the country, but and as well as learning from them, but also just playing against the other teams, the older professionals. Just the physicality of it, I think, is something I really learned from, because being able to use that to your advantage, I think, is really good. So I try to carry that over to here, and obviously our reps and rules are different, but no, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me, and just knowing how important spacing is, and play with so much space and things like that. So I think that was probably something.
And looking at the schedule, you guys have one of the toughest teams probably out there. What specific games
Thank
do
you
you
for saying
circle?
people don't recognize that, but thank you.
Yeah, what specific games do you have circled, as kind of really important to you guys?
Yeah, well, obviously, for people that know, in our Thanksgiving tournament, if we win our first two games, then we'll probably see Iowa in the championship, and then that very next game will be South Carolina. I think South Carolina is one that we're really looking forward to. Obviously, losing from the Sweet 16 2 years ago, I think was something that we definitely remember. So I think that's one that we're really looking forward to. But really, all of them. I think all of the games we're really looking forward to, because we really has a chance to get better and just grow as a team, because we know we have a lot of good pieces, and the more reps we get, the more opportunity we get to be challenged like that, I think is great for our program.
This isn't necessarily a North Carolina question, but I think you'll be able to give some good perspective. I'm writing about NIL and how it's different in kind of every sport. How would you say it's different in the women's game compared to the men's game?
I think the women are able to show their personality a little more. I think the women have a lot of personality. The men maybe don't show it as much. I don't know. There are some that do, but I think the women there's so many different layers to us as athletes, and I think NIL really pulls that and gets to showcase that and shows what's important kind of shows our values depending on who we partner with and things like that. But I think the personality is a big piece of it because it also allows us to show that personality on the court as well, not only within NIL. So I think that's super important and definitely pulls in a lot of those.
So you're saying it's a little bit more brand heavy, I guess?
I would say more brand heavy. I think because brands love that personality. They want you to be able to sell their brand. They want you to be able to promote it, and if you don't have a Lincoln personality to show, then it's hard for them to partner with you. So I think that's why I think you see women kind of thriving in that space way more because they know that, one, they have the personality, and they know that they can take full advantage of that within the NIL space.
Is it fair to say NIL's helped grow women's college basketball?
Absolutely. I think NIL has definitely brought more coverage, more eyes to the game because people want to see, like I said, those personalities. People want to see women outside of just the jerseys that they see every day. They want to see how they are in their everyday life and see kind of what they do and what their day-to-day is. So I think NIL has definitely helped grow that because once people see, say, for me, I partnered with Beats, and people seeing that, and they're like, okay, now I want to watch her play, and then it just brings coverage in that way. So I think it's a full circle, it's a full cycle. So it's been really great to grow the game.
Is NIL as prominent in the